paraphrasing here. Sexual harassment against black girls at school. It's saying that sexual harassment in schools has, obviously we know this, an impact on black girls and young women. And it says, now, would you agree with this, Keros? Their harassment is often more public, more violent, and inflicts longer-term damage than that of their non-black peers. For a variety of possible reasons, black girls also respond more directly and physically to being sexually harassed. Instead of acknowledging these responses as coping and defense mechanisms, school staff and administrators often misperceive black girls and young women as aggressors and punish them inappropriately. Hello!
That was just by itself. That is so true, first of all.
There you go. Hello? Can I get an amen?
And so deep, because to me, it defines how their attitudes are formed. Mm-hmm. And so because if you're putting them through this all the time, and then they basically, their mechanism is to fight back against it, then you're telling me, oh, well, why are you so, belligerent? Why are you so, just, mean? No.
We're trying to just keep you away. And if that is to be the response to get you to leave us alone, then that's what we'll do. Again, further on down in the article, Keros, it was saying that black girls and young women also reported more being sexually harassed in the most public and visible spaces. As you just mentioned, the majority of sexual harassment occurred in the hall and the classroom, and black girls in particular were more likely than their peers to be harassed on public transportation to and from school and in the cafeteria. Black girls and young women reported feeling self-conscious, embarrassed, afraid, and less confident as a result of being sexually harassed. In addition, black girls were more likely than white girls to say they would complain to a school employee about another student sexually harassing them. I mean, I could go on, people, but as it's Share Saturday, we are sharing for you to please go and read, because my goodness, I saw that and my blood just started boiling. I was like, no, we are sharing. Okay, because I just didn't like that. And I remember thinking, why is it that we always seem to be the ones that have to shout the loudest, literally physically fight, and fight the longest? I mean, why? And if we tell anybody, we're told, oh no, well, that's just whatever, you're just going to have to live with it. No, because if it's someone else, you'd want to do something, but because it's us, you don't want to do nothing. Why? And that pertains to another thing that we just talked about earlier, but I'm not even going to go back there today, because you know what? People, let us know what you think at Ask Avani Show. Are we right? Is this true? Do you agree? Or do you have a differing view and you think, okay, that's not the truth. I have not experienced that, or I don't see that where I grew up, or the people I hang around with, or I don't see that on the streets of my neighborhood or wherever. Please let us know at Ask Avani Show, because wow, I mean, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, okay, let's do this, Keros, because I have to ask you about this, because when I saw it, I thought, now wouldn't this be interesting? Link 5. Over there in America, apparently, a TV star reportedly got 38 million, I repeat, 38 million after a stalker filmed her nude.
Now, will she be paid? We'll never know.
Well, see, maybe she's already got the money.
Well, I mean, the 38 million, if it's a stalker, unless they were a millionaire themselves, I agree with the judgment. Mm-hmm. But will they get 38 million? It's more of a I want all your money for the rest of your life moment, which is fine with me.
Yeah, but you know what? Then why give her that type of money if he's broke and he can't afford to pay it? Come on now.
Pressure, stress on his head. That's what that. Or their
head. Yeah, but he ain't gonna care, especially if he's crazy on top of it. He's gonna be like, whatever. I ain't got it, and you ain't never gonna get that from me. So I don't even know why you bothered to put that big judgment on me, because I ain't got it, and you ain't getting it.
Well, I will talk about that after the break. And then the stress of a $38 million judgment on your credit or on your life. Hey.
Well, before we go to break, Keros, I need to share this because I want to know what people think. Link 6. Was an airline right to prevent a woman traveling in inappropriate shorts, people let us know at Ask Avani Show or on the Ask Avani Show Facebook group page. Hey Rose, if you open this article, you will see that there is a woman wearing shorts and she wants to get on a flight, and apparently the airport staff told her that she would not be able to get on this flight unless she changed her attire. Look here, I'm just going to say this right here and now. I do not care what someone else is wearing, as long as they ain't trying to push up themselves in my face when I'm trying to sleep and do some twerking or whatever it is. I don't care. Okay, but if they feel that her attire was inappropriate, and maybe this is the thing, maybe they thought she might attract some crazies on the flight, and where's she going to run to if she's got some bloke pestering her because she's wearing shorts? That shouldn't be the case. But I see it's a very interesting debate, isn't it, Kara? I want to know what our listeners think, because what we're talking about today is definitely does have in its origins some form of insanity. We will be right back on the other side after this.
How did we ever lose our minds and fall apart?
Good afternoon and welcome back. You are tuned in right here on the Ask Avani Show this afternoon. Yes, people, we are simulcasting live across the Get Global Network. Now, today's question I'm asking, sexual harassment and discrimination in public and the workplace, is it supposedly just playful banter gone too far, or something far more serious that really needs to be addressed and stamped out? Welcome back to K-Rose.
Good morning, good afternoon, Avani.
Now, before the break, people, we posted out and I wanted to know if an airline was right to ask a lady to change her clothing because they thought that she was wearing inappropriate clothing. She was wearing some shorts. Now, you looked at the picture, K-Rose, didn't you? And what did you say to me off air? Please share with the listeners.
I wouldn't have noticed it.
Hello. As we say over here, don't watch that. Do you think anyone cares? No one's going to care what someone else is wearing. Like you said, unless she was totally naked, you think anyone's going to notice? And if she was naked, we probably would have thought she was crazy. So,
and she don't need to be on the plane either.
There you go. So that's the only time I think anyone would have really noticed. I mean, again, I'm inviting you guys out there to let us know at Ask Avani Show what you think. Would you care if you saw a fellow passenger wearing shorts? Would it incite you to be like, nah, I ain't getting on the plane if she's wearing that? Come on now. Personally, I think no one's going to care, because me personally, I'll be sleeping when I get on the flight. I don't care what she's doing. Other people are going to be watching TV, reading their book. I said this to you, didn't I, K-Rose? They're going to be doing work. They're going to be living their life, trying to catch up on something maybe, especially if they've got to go to work and they've got things to do, or people are not going to be noticing what one passenger is wearing. Who cares?
And the people that notice, if they notice that... they need to get off the plane too, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, why is that such a big deal? I mean, I'm not being funny, and I said this to you, didn't I? What if she's coming from a hot country, for example? Because apparently, when I read the article, they asked her to put something else on, and she said, well, I don't have anything else with me, because I think for her it may have been a short flight or something like that, and they were saying, well, you're going to have to get something. So she's had to hare around the airport like a nut job to find some clothes to put on that they would accept her to allow her to get on the flight. Otherwise, she would have missed her flight home. Hello.
Well, why again?
Yes.
This is a woman-specific thing that's happening here. But what if a man comes onto the plane and he's got his shirt basically like how they can have shirts that are cut off, showing their muscles, maybe their six-pack or something like that. Yeah. If a man comes on, and I'm not even saying he didn't have a shirt on at all, so let's stop. I won't say that. But let's say he comes in to get on the plane, and he's got one of the cut-off shirts where it's showing his whole, basically all his six-pack. Are they going to make him go get a shirt?
Probably not. I mean, that ain't even funny. If he was going for a job interview, you might say, okay, that's not appropriate attire. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but then you would, that's a whole different, oh, please.
But getting on the plane, there are people that get on the plane in slippers, literally house slippers. If they get on flip-flops.
Sometimes you have to do that, because if you're a person that knows you get fluid retention and your legs swell up or whatever, you can't wear certain things because you know that you won't be able to get your foot back in if you take your foot out, or God knows what. You know what works for you on a flight. I've been on enough to know certain things I don't do because they just doesn't agree with me. I don't drink alcohol anyway, but I definitely wouldn't drink it on a flight because that's just a no-no for me kind of thing, because I'm going to feel awful, especially at that high altitude. Come on now. It might have been really, really hot wherever she was and she just wanted to wear shorts. I mean, I just don't get it. Now, K-Rose, I have to share this one, because when I saw this is one of the articles that made me want to do today's show, because I just thought this is absolutely ridiculous. Link 7. Apparently over here in the UK, there was a London receptionist. I think she did it like a temp thing, like what I used to do, because she was an aspiring actress and other stuff that she wanted to do. Basically, she went out to a temp job one day, K-Rose. These people sent her home. Now, tell me why they sent her home. For not wearing heels. I'll say it again. This woman was sent home from a job for not wearing heels. Now, is that sexist or is that sexist?
So she was not in proper work attire because her shoes didn't have a high enough heel.
Yeah, basically. And there's other places where you'll go to and they'll tell you that if you don't have on makeup, for example, you are not suitable to do the job. Hello?
Well, man, I got a question about that also, but how tall do you need to be sitting down as a receptionist?
Hello? And she even said to them the reason why she didn't wear the heels is because she knew that as her job as a receptionist, for example, because she has to show people to rooms. I completely understand, because I've done that job many, many times. And there are times where you have to get up constantly to do this, do that, taking tea, taking this, take that, take the guest here, up, down, everywhere. Who wants to be uncomfortable for 8+ hours in a day because you're wearing flaming heels just to look pretty? And who's looking at your foot when you're sitting behind the receptionist desk anyway?
I just can sigh. I just sigh heavily.
Yes, and I thought, you were really that conceited and petty that you're going to set somebody home because she didn't have high heels on. And you know what they told her? They told her that she must go out and buy some, otherwise she can't do the job. They will send her home. And I thought, what? And so she's like, well, no, I'm not going out to spend how much money just to keep you happy, just to buy a pair of heels. So that means she's going to be late now, because they're telling her, if you want to work in here today, you have to go out now and go and get some heels and then come back. So then she's going to miss how much hour or so of pay because she's been faffing about in the shops to buy a pair of high heel shoes just so she can go to work. And apparently she's saying that someone said that the agency told her that was part of the agreement that she signed, which is a load of crap. Well, I've never met no temping agency that's told you that you have to go to every single job wearing high heels. And they told her that her heels have to be at least between 2 and 4 inches. So she can't wear flat shoes at all. Well, what kind of foolishness?
They're claiming that's part of her business attire.
Yeah, that's what they're claiming. Yeah. But she obviously didn't get that memo, innit? Because it's a load of rubbish.
Well, it was probably in the fine print.
Or maybe they just did, because what happens, what they'll do, they'll say things after the facts. Basically, they never told her that. It ain't in the fine print. And they just decided to make that up later on because they were trying to keep the client. Because what happened was, you see, because this girl ain't stupid. She was so fed up. She went home and she did it. See, this is the thing about the internet now. You lot are going to get found out when you do your foolishness. She went home. She set up a petition. So that the government, see over here, if you do a petition, if it gets over, I think it's 100,000 signatures, it can go to the House of Commons and get debated on,
Right.
Yeah. So she set up a petition. Everyone started signing it, saying, is it wrong? Is it that they can do that? Is it right, I should say, that they can do that to send me home just because I didn't have high heels on? Is that something that they can hold against me in law, basically? And people are saying, well, not being funny, but no, kind of thing. They can't tell you that you have to. Because remember, what if you can't wear heels? What if you are the type of woman who just doesn't like heels, or for whatever reason you've got issues with your back or whatever, and high heels are not suitable? What if your doctor has told you specifically, do not wear high heel shoes, especially when you're working? Especially if you know your job entails you walking around a lot. What if you have a medical condition that restricts you from wearing high heels for very long periods, for example, the working day? So what, they're going to try and put her in more discomfort just so that she... Oh, please. I've never heard such rubbish in my life. I thought... Again, people, please tell us, because I'm about to go off on one. I Ask Avani Show, what do you think? Was it fair that they should send her home just for not wearing heels? Okay, if she came in and she looked like a punk rocker and it's a city firm and they said, oh, no, God, we can't have you, then I get it. But what? That's her only sin, not wearing a pair of high heel shoes, for real. Come on. You have to laugh. Well,
but again, are the people that should be on the ship making these decisions?
Yes. And everybody else is falling into line and putting up with their foolishness, basically, and trying to make her feel bad because she didn't have on what they said she should have had on. Listen, move, because I don't wear high heels.